Hello, hello, hello. I think we're live there. Welcome to everybody. So you may be joining us from YouTube or from toladata.com. Today we'll be looking at the time-based analysis for aggregated indicators. You can see it up there on the screen. We'll just give it a minute or two for a few more people to join. So you may be joining us live, or you also may be watching back. So this will be available on our YouTube channel after. And also under our help center on our website. Another reason that we're doing these future focuses is to create a library of resources online. So they'll all be available. This is the fourth installment in our future focus. We'll give you a bit more detail on them. But yeah, basically we're just going to be presenting to you today the layout of the 30 minutes. It'll only be 20-30 minutes, so we want to keep these short and informative. So Malta, my lovely colleague, will be presenting the new feature, and then at the end we'll be taking some questions as well. So I'll just give it another 30 seconds there. You may be joining us as a current customer as well, or a potentially new client. So with questions at the end, I think it's an opportunity to find out more about total data, but also to hear more about this feature. Let's give it another few seconds there.
And maybe while we wait, hello everybody, this is Walter from Toledata. Very happy to be speaking to you and presenting you our newest feature today.
Great, and with that as well, I'm Anya, as you can see on screen. So I'm a customer success executive here at Toladata. So I would have been the one who circulated the email. So you may recognize my name, but I'm very happy to be joining. And with that, I can see it's 2 minutes, so I think that's plenty of time. So again, just a bit on the feature focus. So the feature focus is a succession of short live streams. So as I mentioned, this is our fourth installment. So our first one was a look at the change log. So that was a bit of a pilot, a bit of a special. We're usually going to do them chronologically. So the change log was a new feature, and it was looking at allowing users to see different activities within their account. So if you're interested in that, you can go back and take a look at that. Our second installment then was creating projects, and then our last one was looking at creating disaggregations within the account, so a bit of setting up within your account. And then you can see our next one is next week on the 1st of March, and that will be a look at account customization. So it's a real deep dive into different features of Toladata, and it'll allow you to ask questions and really get into the features. But with that then, I think I can pass over to Malta for the presenting of the feature.
Thank you very much, Anya. So today we are going to look at the feature called time-based analysis for aggregated indicators. So as a starting point, you may wonder, this new feature that we're going to introduce to you today, where within the Toladata application does it sit? And as you can see here, it is located in the indicator section, and within the indicator section, it can be shown in the results summary, which is where, as the name implies, you'll get an automated summary of your indicators or of the specific indicator you're currently looking at. So in a nutshell, what does the new feature do? What it does is it allows users to analyze how an aggregated indicator and its contributing indicators, how they develop over time. And you may wonder why we created the feature. Well, as always, the answer with Toladata is our clients asked for it, and we also found a lot of value in creating it. So what does it help users? It helps users to see how a portfolio or a set of projects develop over time. In short, it helps to manage portfolios. So it's specifically interesting for those of you who may be responsible for managing or reporting data from various different projects where the value of aggregated indicators is the highest. With you, you're not only going to see how the aggregated indicator itself developed over time, but the feature also allows you to see how the contributing indicators, so the indicators of the different projects that contributed to the aggregated indicator, how those indicators developed over time, in short, how the projects were developing over time. And it also helps you see at a glance if all the projects that were supposed to contribute data to a certain reporting period, whether they filled in the data as had been planned. So how does the feature work? We're now going to look at it in the live demo. There will be 3 stages. First of all, I'm going to show you how you can find the feature and how it looks like. Then I will show you how you can activate the feature for a specific aggregated indicator. And then in the last bit, we are going to have a look at how the feature can be configured or which settings can be made across the entire org unit at once by the organization's org admin. And then, as Anya said, there will be time for a few questions from your side. So let's dive right into the software itself. So you see that I am in a project, and there is an indicator that is an aggregated indicator. You can see that by the symbol here. It's an aggregated indicator. So I will first show you what we already have. As some of you may already know, aggregated indicators are indicators that the value of which is determined by the so-called contributing indicators. So in this case here, we have an aggregated indicator here at the country level, Nigeria. And this aggregated indicator gets its values from 2 projects taking place in Nigeria, one in Gombe, the other in Yobe. And these have contributed values, 6,871.80 from Gombe and 1,914 from Yobe. And together they make up this total actual value for the aggregated indicator. So far, so good. This is what we already had in the system. So now I'm going to show you the new feature. The new feature sits here in the result summary. And you can see that now you will find a new tab here within the results summary called Time-Based Results. And this is where the feature is hosted in terms of the analytic perspective. So you will see a few nice things there. First of all, you can see the period type. This is where you can select what kind of reporting period type you would like to use. So here you can select whether it's custom or standard, and here you select the period type. At the moment, you're only going to see one period type activated, that's the annual one, and we'll talk about in a few minutes how others can be added here. So right now, we are looking at annual data for this aggregated indicator, and this view consists of different parts. You will have a chart up here, and the chart up here shows for how the aggregated indicator developed over time. And we see that in the first year, it had a value of 1,912. And then in 2021, another 2,441 hectare were added, and so forth. And here, down here in the percent of total actuals, you're going to see what each year, what percentage of the total actual value over here each year's value represented. So we can see right away, okay, that out of the 8,000 hectares that were managed in a biodiversity conserving manner, 47 of those happened to be so in 2022. So this is the graph up here, and this is what the table here looks like. And the table below, which is called actuals contributing indicators, then breaks down this data. So it shows you how those 2 contributing indicators, one from Yobe, one from Gombe, how their values developed over time. So we can see, for example, for the year 2020, we had a total value of 1,912, and 650 of those hectares came from Yobe, and 1,262 came from Gombe. And there it gives you that overview. How did the indicator develop over time for a specific project? And so this, as we said earlier, helps you to get an understanding of what the contributions of the respective projects were over time and how they developed. And you can also see right away here that for example, Gombe didn't report a value in 2023. So I may just quickly go into the Gombe project, have a look there, just so that you see how the logic is. I'll go to my indicator here on the project level, and I may add a value for 2023. Let's say that another 824 hectares were planted or were managed in 2023. I'll save my value. And what happens now, as always with Tola data, if you add a data point at the lowest level here, this automatically updates the data at the higher levels if this indicator has been linked to an aggregated indicator. So we're going to have a look. We'll go back to our country level. We're going to our contributors to our aggregated indicator and have a look at the results summary. And you can see that the 824 that I just added a minute ago now show up for Gombe, and the total number has been increased by 824. So this is how the feature looks like, and this is how it is linked to the contributing indicators. So now the next question you may have is, okay, so I've seen the feature, looks nice. How do I actually activate it or get it? And there's two main ways of doing so. The first step is that we're going to link another reporting period type for this very specific aggregated indicator that we're looking at here. So in order to do that, I will go to the tab that is called Targets and Disaggregations within the aggregated indicator. And you see that the system, that now there is a new card here that says linked reporting period types for time-based analysis. You can see that the period type annual has already been linked. I'll talk in a few minutes about why that is. And you're also going to see a new button, which is called link reporting period types. So now let's say for this aggregated indicator, let's imagine we don't only want to know how the indicator developed over in a certain year, but over certain, let's make it semi-annual, for example. So I'm just going to pick that reporting period type, and then I'm being asked what I would like to do, if I want to link it to all the contributing indicators below or not. In this case, I'm going to choose yes. I link it, and then this means that now the system knows, okay, for this specific aggregated indicator, including all its contributing indicators, the user would like to have not only an annual analysis, but also a semi-annual analysis. And that then if I now go back to my results summary, I can see that now in the select period type drop down, I have another option called semi-annual. And if I click that here, you are going to see the very same indicator, but this time not broken down by years, but by semi-annual reporting periods. You see all the values here, exactly the same logic. You see that the projects were most likely reporting on an annual basis. That is why you see that some semi-annual, some 6-month reporting periods have not been filled out, which is absolutely fine. But I guess this already shows the idea. So to repeat that, in order to link in your reporting period that you want to use for your analysis, you'll go to Targets and Disaggregations and click on Link Reporting Periods, and then it's going to be added to this specific aggregated indicator, including all of its contributing indicators. So that is the standard option, how the feature works. There also is a special feature that is only available to org admins in the admin console. And I'll just navigate to that section. In the admin console, in the configuration tab, you are now going to find a card which is called aggregated indicators reporting periods. And as the sentence says, these reporting period types are linked automatically to all aggregated indicators, both existing and future, of this organization unit. So what does this mean? It means that if I as an org admin user, if I choose any reporting period here, whether it's a custom one that has been added by an org unit or a standard one that has been made available to our data to all clients, that this reporting period is going to be linked to every single aggregated indicator that exists for this org unit, as well as all those aggregated indicators which are still to be created at a later stage. So it really is about kind of setting a standard which kind of reporting period you want to be available for all aggregated indicators. And this is a very powerful feature, and that is why we kindly ask clients, both in your as well as in our interest, to really use it carefully. Why are we saying that? So imagine that you have an indicator and you want to have a monthly analysis. So you could link it here using as an org. If you're an org admin, you could link it here, but it would mean that every single aggregated indicator of the entire org unit of all projects is now automatically be analyzed monthly. And this most likely is not in your interest, because it means that even the colleagues who never touched this feature in the administration colleague, they're now going to see the data dissected month by month, even though that may most likely not be relevant to them. So it's almost like you're imposing an analysis of them, which they didn't ask for. So that is one reason. And another reason is that it really puts quite some, it just adds a lot of values to our database. That being said, we of course know that there's many organizations amongst you have a very high interest in this feature. And this is why we discussed internally, what shall we do about it that all of you get value automatically without having too many adjustments in the first place? And that is why we decided to automatically link by default the standard reporting period called annual to all org units in our system. So these annual reporting periods are the ones starting on January 1st and ending December 31st. In short, the classic calendar year as defined by ISO in our calendar. So you already, all of you, if you go back to your Tola Data org unit, you should all find in your aggregated indicators already time-based analysis for the calendar year. And if you find that your entire org unit or all of your projects actually use a different reporting period, for example, your custom reporting periods, then you can, of course, you're very welcome to use our feature also here at the org unit level. So to make it available for all projects of your org unit, if, for example, you have a specific reporting period type, if you are going to find that only some of your indicators would need the time-based analysis, then of course you're welcome to use the second way, which we described earlier, namely to link it at the very specific aggregated indicator level. So this, in a nutshell, is how the feature works. And now I will go back to our slides and I will hand over to Anya.
Thank you very much, Malta. That was really interesting. I know a lot of clients were asking about it and very interested. So I hope they're joining us today or watching back. A lot of really great content there. So you can see up on the screen there, I've popped up a banner and the instructions. So if any questions came up during that you want to ask, now's your chance to go to menti.com and then enter that code on screen, and that will bring you to a question box. With that then, we'll just give it a few minutes and see does anybody have any questions. And yeah, thanks again, Malta. I think you explained that really well. It was very interesting to get a look in. I'll give it another few minutes there. We're just waiting for some questions to come in. So as we were saying, a lot of clients may already be in Tola Data, and I can see our first question there. Is there a way to export the time-based results? Malta, I can hand that over to you.
Thank you, Anya, and thanks a lot for the question. Yes, let me just show you how that works like. So I'll just go back to the indicator section. And as you know, we have always had a tab in our indicator section called exports. And this is where you find multiple exports some of which you can also configure. And we've added a new export down here in the aggregated indicator section, with periodic results without disaggregation data. So if you click on this button, a link, a file is going to be created by our system, by our backend, and
Great.
once it's created, there's going to be notification sent to you. Sorry, Anya.
Thanks, Malta. I might just pop that onto the screen there so clients can see where you're speaking about.
Oh, is it not shown on the screen? I'm sorry.
No,
I
it was
thought.
the other screen. No problem. It was our first technical difficulty, so we can see there on the screen. I can pop the questions back up there.
Okay, but was my screen shown while I was showing the feature,
No,
Anya?
it
Oh
wasn't.
no. Oh, okay. Let me just reshare my screen.
Yeah, perfect. But we see a
Sorry.
glimpse of it as the
Okay,
export.
sorry for that. I'll just redo that.
Not at all.
Okay.
We got a glimpse of it for a second, so it was the exporting tab, exactly.
Okay, so within the export tab, you are going to see a section called aggregated indicators. And here you're going to find an export which is called with periodic results without disaggregation data. So you can click on it, and then a report is going to be created. And once it has been created, a download link will be sent to your email address. So you can get that one. It's an Excel file that you can use for further analysis, if that may be useful for you.
Brilliant. Great. I'll pop the questions back up there. I'm taking this as a good sign that Malta explained it all extremely in depth, and we all know all about the feature now. Just give it a minute there. And of course, at any time when you're in the platform and you're exploring the new features, or any features for that matter, there is a live chat function down at the bottom where it will contact our customer support team. So at any time during the exploration, you can ask us a question then. Just give it another minute just in case. Great. With that, Malta, do you have anything else to add?
No, thanks a lot for joining us today and for watching. And as Anya said, if you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, we always highly appreciate any feedback from our clients. Please let us know anytime. And yeah, we are much looking forward to the other sessions. We have a lot of really nice, interesting features waiting for you this year. Not gonna say too much, but stay tuned. And yeah, back to you, Anya.
Thank you very much. Exactly. So next week we have the account customization. So it's 10 o'clock CET next Wednesday. We'll be looking at particular interest to the org admins, where you can go into the admin console, do a lot of configuration there, and also managing team members, which sometimes people could have a few questions around. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, you can join us next Wednesday as well. So with that, I think we'll leave it there. But thank you very much for joining us today. And again, any questions, you can contact us on the live chat function or at info@toladata.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.